It's really been astonishing to see her return in 2015.
You know, to take on something like Mariquita is incredible, and you can't even imagine.
As the only surviving 19-metre, it's hard to think of another classic yacht that has caught the imagination quite like the magnificent Mariquita. She's widely regarded as one of the most beautiful and iconic yachts in the history of the sport. Mariquita's first 3 seasons, from 1911 to 1913, was spent in the UK. Skippered by Edward Sycamore and then Robert Rindge, some of her finest victories were recorded in the Solent as she raced the other 19-metre yachts in her class, Octavia, Narada and Corona. However, the fear of war in early 1914 stopped competitive sailing overnight, and Mariquita's fledgling career as a raceboat took a different course.
Michael Campbell, the Commodore of the squadron, had approached John and I in particular some 2 years ago and said, will you bring the boat back for the bicentenary? And so John and I talked with Stephen and got his view, and eventually the 3 of us decided, yes, we will bring her back. And at that stage I think George just about wanted to throttle us.
So when we arrived into the Solent on the Saturday, the sense of relief of getting the boat here, it's played on my mind ever since the owner said they were bringing the boat up. Sleepless nights as to how the boat's going to be. We've got a very new crew, how they're going to handle being at sea.
Mariquita had left her home port of Cogolin near Saint-Tropez on the 4th of April.
I think it was absolutely fantastic to see her, our lovely ship, coming through the Needles Channel, and having followed her progress on AIS and seeing her come up literally to our home waters, the place that we love, and to think about what we were going to be doing with the boat in the season ahead. The boys coming in to have a drink here at the local yacht club, come down to our local fish and chip restaurant.
So the morning of arrival, coming in off the Needles, everyone had a sense of relief, big smile, especially George. It was a big delivery. He's an incredibly experienced sailor, but bringing Mariquita up is a daunting task for anybody. So he was just over the moon as we passed by Hearst Castle there. And then to pull up to Yarmouth, sit on our, what is now going to be our Mariquita mooring now for the rest of the year. And John was right there in a rib to welcome us, and before we knew it, we were being whisked away. We went to Salties, fish and chips. I mean, as English as you could possibly hope for. It was fantastic.
So the relief and satisfaction of getting that boat tied up on the mooring was immense, incredibly emotional, actually. I phoned my mum when I arrived to say that I got here,
and then back onto the boat, and off we went across the way to Lymington. Of course, in true British fashion, the fog came rolling back in, and we're finding our way up this narrow channel through these marsh beds with lookouts everywhere and the fog kind of creeping in, and then arrived at what will be our new home for the next few months.
Just a huge feeling of relief to see the boat and to see the crew, and obviously Mariquita herself, all well and in one piece.
This is the inside story of Mariquita's 2015 season, as she competes in 6 regattas in 3 short months. The challenge of racing in the Solent with a brand new crew. The spectacle of the RYS Bicentennial and the J-Class. The beauty of the Isle of Wight. The rivalry with Eleonora and Sumerun. But above all, the enduring appeal of this glorious yacht as she races the same courses where she started her career over a century before.
2014 really was the most amazing season. We won the Panerai in the Mediterranean. We had a great fight with Mick. Didn't actually win the series until the last race of the year. We probably had the best crew that Mariquita has ever had, and they really, really raced that boat well last year. Sadly, only 3 of those guys are left on this year's crew. So the challenge for us is, can we continue that winning streak with the 2015 Panerai, British Classic Week, Westwood Cup, the Squadron Regattas. Really looking forward to it, but I think it's going to be a tough act to follow.
Having completed the passage from France to the Isle of Wight in record time, Mariquita's 6 full-time crew get to work preparing the boat for the season ahead. It takes a couple of weeks to transform Mariquita from delivery to race mode. After stepping the top mast, the crew concentrate on the rig and the all-important varnishing.
This season is going to be a great season, probably, because when you arrive here, you just see all those people going sailing during the weekend. There is definitely something else from south of France, which is, of course, a big regatta event, but it's not, I would say, the same culture as the sailing culture as here. Here you can see every weekend everybody goes sailing. All the young people, they are into sailing. There is a lot of competition here. With the stream is totally different from south of France. The tides, the winds, the conditions are totally different. So it's going to be a very, very great season.
The full-time crew are supplemented by a further 12 sailors for each regatta. The mainsail alone needs 14 people to haul it up. After 10 years of competitive racing since her restoration in 2004, Mariquita has an enviable list of regatta crew to choose from. Less than a month after arriving in Lymington, Mariquita heads out into the Solent for her first training day on the 22nd of May.
Well, we're just back from our first training day on Mariquita in this beautiful English sunshine. A bit different from the Med, this, but very exciting. Great to see the boat back. Great to see a new crew on board.
And I have to say, on any boat I've ever worked on, I've never had so much anticipation for the season's first sail. All these new crew on board who have the passion and the studying to sail this boat, but it's always the question of, does that equate to on-deck performance? And today proved that it does.